Welcome back to She's Out of Your League. We've been gone for a little while, and we're 2 days away from the best 4 words in the English language, Pitchers and Catchers Report.
Bing, bang, boom.
And you are experiencing a historical event here on She's Out of Your League. I have boys on the set.
Oh, boys! Where'd they come from?
What?
They wanted me to say men, but...
Boys to men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here we go. You're going to watch the
Trying
transformation
to get there.
right here.
Someday.
Right here. But anyway, these guys are going to be headed down to spring training. When do you go?
Leave Thursday.
Thursday.
Be there for a couple days. It's going to be wonderful.
All right. Well, what we want to start off talking about first is Braves offseason moves, or lack thereof.
No moves, Zaid.
No, they didn't really do anything. The Braves were pretty confident in their roster the way that it stood already. They thought, you know what, we're good enough as it is. Minus the September collapse, they thought they were pretty good where they were already.
It's kind of funny. They go through a September collapse just like the Boston Red Sox go through a September collapse, yet the Boston Red Sox implode everything, and they change everything about their team. They have a new head coach. They change their closer. They change moves all over the place. But the Braves, they decide to stay calm in the exact same situation and make no moves when obviously I think a couple things could have happened.
There definitely are a few things that could happen with the Braves, but I think a lot of those things, their major move that they wanted to make was with moving Jair Jurgens and possibly Martin Prado. I think it was very telling that that move just disappeared, and I think it had to do with the health of Tim Hudson.
Yeah, I think Tim Hudson not being ready for the start of the season may have a lot to do with them kind of holding forth the way that it is, and just seeing how things progress, getting through spring training, starting the season the way that it is. You got to remember, the Braves' strength is in their starting pitching, and it's really in their bullpen. They believe that their bullpen is one of the best, if not the best, in the majors all the way around. So with the young kids back there, just keeping those guys, maybe not working them as much come spring training, and as the season starts off, if they just can have a little bit more gas left in the tank for once they come down the stretch, then maybe they won't have the failure and the epic collapse that they had last year.
Exactly. I think that was one of the big reasons. A lot of people would give Freddie Gonzalez maybe a lower grade, maybe a C, D, maybe even an F on the way he managed his bullpen. They pitched way too many innings early on, and you could tell that these young arms with not a lot of innings behind them were getting really tired as the season dragged on. So it's really going to come down to, more importantly, I think, the starting pitching and not the bullpen, because you know the bullpen's going to take care of theirs. What's going to happen is these starters need to go into the 7th inning, and they need to go and pitch more innings, so there are less innings pitched from that bullpen, because you know they'll be successful. You know the bullpen will get theirs.
Right.
So these starters, they need to go deeper into the games, and that's what the Braves need to look at.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say I wouldn't put as much of the blame on Gonzalez with the bullpen collapsing the way that it was. I think it's all about the starting pitching. That starting pitching has got to get you into the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th inning in some games. Let the bullpen rest, have them come in just so they can close the game. Don't put the onus on them where they've got to come in the 6th inning and they're pitching 2 or 3 innings at a time. Let them just get 1 inning in and see what they can do then. And then it's just all about the starters. Having Tim Hudson come back healthy, having the rest of that starting rotation, being able to go deep into games, and that way you can rest that bullpen and let that strength of the Braves really come to the forefront.
And part of that is, talked about Freddie Gonzalez getting a lower grade because of that. And I look at it in a couple ways. Like you said, starting pitchers did not go deep enough into games. But look at where they would have been had he not used them. They wouldn't have been there on the last day.
Well, he has to use them. There's no question that he has to use them. It's just guys like Kimbrel and Venters, they're never going to say no to the ball. No. They're never going to say, I'm not going to take it. It's up to the manager whether, you know what, I'm going to give a Flaherty this 8th inning, and I'm not going to, no matter, even if it doesn't match up righty-lefty. You got to manage that group, and that's kind of where where they got themselves into trouble, to where guys don't go deep enough. And then he has to, even if he's not using his best gun out of the bullpen, he's got to mix it up a little bit. You can't go Venters,
you're absolutely right,
Kimbrel every time if they're going to have to pitch every single game.
Every single time. That's what happened. And on top of that, Braves hitting was nowhere to be found.
Not only the hitting, the defense. The defense let them down a lot, too. There was a lot of errors made in the infield, shortstop, third base, in the outfield. A lot of errors that would let that pitching down, let the starting pitching down, and would force the bullpen to come in when, maybe they would have gotten out of the 6th inning or gotten out of the 7th inning, an error to keep an inning going and to keep some runs being scored. That really hurt them at times during this season.
That's a great point.
Absolutely. And, they've done the magic thing. They fired the hitting coach.
Oh,
So,
man.
and they've hired two. They
Two's
had
better than one.
Two hitting coaches are always
Yeah.
better than one hitting coach.
It's the magic
I think.
answer. It is the magic answer, no doubt. Well, that does it for this segment of She's Out of Your League. And I want to thank Zaid Hakim and James Palmer, which I let off, and I didn't even tell you their names. I just told you they were boys.
That's all people need to know is that we're
That's
boys.
what
They're
women
boys.
think.
I mean, that's
you know
kinda
why?
how we roll around here.
You know why? It's because you're out of our league.
That I am. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back to talk about how the Braves stack up in the NL East.